Greetings, everyone. I'm Andy, and I'm here at Joyce Gordon's gallery in here downtown Oakland. And here visiting, we have this guest star, John Toms, who's coming from Denver, Colorado. Give thanks. And so the exhibit opened up on August 1st, First Fridays here in Oakland. And I was just taken aback by the colors and the thing of how mixing music with art is just, looking at his artwork is like going into a live jazz band. I feel like I hear music. And so here we have Tom. And I just want Tom to give us a little information on his inspiration as an artist.
Inspirational wise, it came from the hood, growing up, loving music and not being able to play it. So this is as close as I could get to playing. I admire musicians and music so much that it inspires me quite a bit. So from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, it's music.
Wow, that's beautiful on how you can incorporate these two passions. Like you said, I've never been able to play, but I love music. And to be able to incorporate that into pieces that also musicians, dating a musician, he was just so drawn in to, your artwork because of this music. So I think that's a really beautiful concept.
Oh yeah, well that's as close as I could get to them, I mean, it's such an inspiration as far as the musicians and music that I'm trying to just return the favor.
Gotcha. So I see a certain theme here. How did you choose, I guess, this theme, especially coming into the Bay Area? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Bay culture, but it seems like we have birthed a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, and it seems like your exhibit is Bay Area. Like, I would assume that you were a Bay Area artist.
No.
So how did this come into fruition?
Well, music is universal, so it's that wasn't a problem at all. I mean, it's just that Oakland, the energy level and the awareness is much higher than it is a lot of other places. So, and then as well as me doing no faces, it allows people to take my work in a lot more. And musicians, they have a chance to actually see what we're hearing. With no face, then they can put themselves in that vibe. And I see music in color a lot of times, so that's why that's why the ties flow like they do, because I try to capture the movement and the flow of music with the ties.
It made me think of another topic, a TV show that I saw, and basically I believe what you just mentioned is what they were trying to do. The young man, he was an artist, a painter, and something happened to where he became colorblind. And so art colors was that was his thing. So to not see colors, he began to mention how, everything is dull and gray. And so basically what the doctors did, they came up with this instrument that gave sounds, but the sounds were, I guess, the sounds of color. So every time he heard this sound, it would show red. Or every time he heard this sound, it would show this green. And so it's really interesting to hear your words and to see that TV show, because basically what I'm getting is that you are giving people who are possibly, I wouldn't say, colorblind or deaf, but kind of maybe with a sense of not having that musical talent or not having that artistic talent, but making them feel very artistic because they can appreciate the art.
We have so much in common, and especially music. It's certain cuts of music. I don't care how old you are, what nationality you come from. There's certain music that we all relate to.
They say music is a universal language.
Oh, no doubt.
Because with Michael Jackson being just so,
that's what I'm saying.
all over the world you have Michael fans, so I can really.
And you have Prince, and he's still kicking it, and then you have your Quincy Jones, which your parents probably listened to back in the day, and he's still doing the thing. So, it's individuals that hit that level of creativity where their creativity just transcends, and it's an endless thing. And that's all I want. You know, I'm just trying to get better. You know,
Give thanks.
and hope I never see the end.
Is there anything in closing that you would like to add about your exhibit?
More than anything is to thank Oakland and the Oakland artists, photographers, and it's just real inspiring. I mean, my vibe is just over the top. It's much higher than it normally is, just because of the people I've met. You know, and the vibe I've got. Much love. You know, I mean, it's just crazy love. I appreciate that. You know.
Well, they're gonna they're gonna show your artwork. So if you can, please give us some information on those whose eyes are captured, their hearts are drawn in. Where can they contact you at?
You can contact me at John Tom's Art or J Tom's Art. Our new website will be up within the next week or so, where you can order our t-shirts and our mugs and all that. But if you ever want any of my work, this is the place to find it, whether you're in San Francisco, how many sandwoods you guys have out here, you know.
Yeah.
You have to walk through that door right there to get it.
And this exhibit is going to be to the end of August?
It'll be up the whole
end of
month,
August.
yeah.
And then from there, you'll be leaving the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, actually, I'll be leaving sooner than that, but the work will still be up. But I will be back.
Okay, give thanks.
Definitely.
All right, so you guys heard it. John Tom's, his exhibit will be here until the 30th of August. He will be here for a little while, so if you do want to come check him out, J. Tom's Art.
Or John Tom's Art.
Or John Tom's Art. Give thanks. Peace. Greetings. I am sitting here with Joyce Gordon of Joyce Gordon's Galleries here in downtown Oakland. This weekend is Art and Soul, so we have basically an exhibit of art and soul in the sense of when I spoke to the artist, John Tom's. But we're going to get into Joyce and let us know a little bit about her gallery here and what inspired her and what has her right here in downtown Oakland seem like in the heart of Oakland.
Hi, my name is Joyce Gordon, and I have been here for 11 years, actually 11 and a half years. And what inspired me to be downtown Oakland is it is the heartbeat of the city. All of the people are here. And I thought that it was important to have a space that is accessible to all of the people, so they can see and appreciate all of the art. So I've been into art all my life. I went to art school. I've had hair salons. I've done hair shows. Published a hair book. So what keeps me going is being around creative thinking people, whether they're musicians or visual artists or performing artists. It's just my lifeline. It gives me life. So it was important for me to create a situation where I could have that all day, every day. And that's what I have here.
So there's a few exhibits, if you get a chance to look around. These exhibits, a lot of them have been sitting here over their exhibit time. What type of, I guess you could say, maybe picture or image?
What it is I showcase a different artist every month or every 2 months. But at the same time, I have artists that I don't like to say that I represent, but artists that I just love, one being Michael Chukes. You can't see his sculptures because they're on the second level, but you can see them through the window. I keep Chukes' work on hand. And Nina Fambuni, I keep her work here. I have Jacob Lawrence, his work is here. Samela Lewis, her work is here. So I have some of the established and recognized giants in the art industry, and I have mid-career artists also. So like I said, we rotate the exhibits once a month, sometimes 2 months. This is John Thomas in the front gallery, and he's here through the month of August. Where I'm sitting is Emery Douglas. Emery's work has been here. This exhibit has been here since May, and I really don't want to take it down, but we're getting ready to do a Motown exhibit, which means I'll have to take this down, but maybe we can put it back up again. So that's how that works. And then we have Corinthia's jewels, her jewelry, Corinthia designs, and it just goes well in here. And we do spoken word, book signings, book readings. The space, we're getting ready to start a film series. I think the first film will be on the 28th. I'm also getting ready to launch another art fun kind of thing called Brew and Brush, where you come in for 2 hours and you paint, and you bring your brew and we give you the brush, and you just work it out.
So, in closing, is there anything else that you would like to offer those who are listening?
Well, what I would like to offer is a suggestion that you come down 14th Street from Franklin to Broadway, because we're doing some amazing things in this one block downtown Oakland. I want to call it Black Mecca.
Black Mecca. Ooh, I love that. So as you heard, we have a Black Mecca going on in downtown Oakland, and as Joyce Gordon mentioned, she will be having some fun events coming on to where we can sip that brew and brush that paint. So check out Joyce Gordon. She's also on Facebook, and that's Joyce Gordon, Gordon. Come check us out. We are in between Broadway and Franklin on 14th Avenue, and as you said, we are 14th Street, my apologies, correction, 14th Street. And as she said, we are establishing a Black Mecca. Give thanks. Greetings also. We're sitting here at Joyce Gordon Gallery in downtown Oakland. And here in my presence, I have a curator, Eric Murphy.
How you guys doing?
Man, okay, so I've actually had an opportunity to sit and watch Eric in the middle of setting up these exhibits. As a sister whose goal and vision is to preserve culture, for one, I admire what you're doing because I see the dedication in what you're giving and how you love this culture. How did you get into curating?
It actually began, I say, close around 2001. I was working with another art gallery, a nonprofit organization. Basically, they were the program coordinator, and everybody was focused on the programs that was within the gallery. I kind of got familiar with their process and everything, and I was asked to start my first curatorial work, and as part of their curatorial services that we do outside of the gallery. Mm-hmm. So in county places, sometimes our building managers were contractors to do quarterly exchanges, so they brought me in to take on those tasks. So it was kind of like a delegated task for me to take over while they focus on the gallery operations. So, and that's where I got my start.
Give thanks. So it just, it birthed into something that from the outside looking in, it seems like you have this appreciation and love. So I guess my main question, I've always been curious because I interned down at the African American Museum and Library, mm-hmm. and I work with two curators there, Vita Silva and Mr. Rick Moss. Mm-hmm. And so to watch them work, it's just always this beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And so what inspires you to put the pieces in a certain way, or when you look at something, because you're always looking at new artwork, mm-hmm. and you always have to express the artist. Where does that inspiration come from?
That inspiration comes from being an artist myself, and it's basically just changing the dimension of where you're at from creating the work to creating the work that's created. So basically,
I get it. It's one of those tongue twisters, but yeah.
And
Okay.
that's basically what it is. You're still an artist, but instead of creating your own work, you're creating a set of other artists' work, and then you basically piecing the work together in a way where it's all cohesive, it all speaks to each other. And just like you would do a painting, you bring in all the elements to this one canvas and put it in a way where it all contextualizes and makes sense. So that's the same thing you're doing as a curator, except you operating with a space.
On a larger scale.
On a larger scale. You're still being an artist operating. I always tell people it's just like an actor turning into a director. You're still acting, but you just doing it on the flip side.
Nice.
Yep.
I like that. Okay. Since this recent exhibit, and you just set it up a couple of days, and the opening night with us having Art and Soul and people coming in and, you know, looking at this, how does that make you feel as a curator?
It's really good, and I guess especially having a artist that's from out of state adds to it. So allowing him to experience what Oakland has and what we're doing here in this space really makes it exciting. Because normally everything is just focused inside the gallery, but to have the Art and Soul, and he just happened to have, you know, he does smaller productions outside of his painting. So we just extend that outside of the gallery and, you know, add that to the festivities that's happening in the street. So, you know, it was just all good timing. It's all good timing. Yeah.
Well, you know, our time is really short, but is there anything that you would like to add as far as being a curator, maybe being here at Joyce's or being in downtown Oakland? I mean,
oh, I can expand on all points.
Okay.
It's
Go ahead.
in terms of being a curator, basically, like I said, it's much of what I mentioned earlier, but it's also being a curator. It's a matter of being sensitive to what's important to the artist, but you also got to know your audience. And you got to cater to your audience also, especially if you want to stay in business. And that's where the difficulty come in terms of weighing that balance. A lot of times artists say, well, this is more of my favorite work, and you got to be understanding to what's important to them, but you got to say, okay, I know you like this piece, but this is a piece I know the audience will like. I mean, we're putting this out there for the audience, so you got to be conscious of what your audiences want to see also. It's not selling out, it's work that you already created, so you're not, you know, selling out, and you just knowing how to put in order what's important to them too, since they're the one that's sustaining us. So making sure what's important to the artist and knowing, just having that sense of what your audience like also, and that's a balance on that. In terms of being in Oakland, this is where it's at. I mean, Oakland is becoming a hub for the art scene, and even we got like a whole audience from San Francisco, which I love. I know some people rag on San Francisco. Oakland is where it's at. I mean, we got people from the city. They like, we want to collaborate with Oakland. We want to get down with what y'all get down. And I mean, we getting hit up every time in the New York Times. They writing reports on it. So, you know, Oakland is starting to get that worldwide recognition, which is overshadowing all that negativity.
Yes.
So that's what it's all
this
about.
Is the positive. Okay.
Oakland is the art hub. So,
Good
and in
things.
terms of being with Joyce, that was the biggest blessing of my life, partnering with her, and she's like the queen of Oakland.
She's a breath of life.
Yeah,
Fresh
everybody loved Joyce, so
Yes.
she's becoming a beacon of light in the art. It's whole art
I
scene,
agree.
so.
I
So
agree.
I can't add no more to that.
Man, all right. So you guys have heard from the curator. Over here at Joyce Gordon's gallery, this is Eric Murphy. And if you come down, please come down and check it out. Down here on 14th Street, in between Broadway and Franklin, you will get to see the works of not only John Toms, but not only the space of Joyce Gordon, but the putting together of an exhibit to, in a sense, express the artist, but also give the people on something that they want. But not just that, but to bring that positive light back to the Bay Area. Because I know music and artists, I can't name them off the top of my head, but we have birthed some beautiful beings.
Amazing.
All right, so in closing, is there anything else you would like to add?
Thank you guys, and check out the show. You will not be disappointed.
sitting on my cell phone. It's so amazing. Come on. I said, there goes my baby. There she goes. There she goes. She'll be the one gonna help. She'll be the
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
How y'all like that?